The wind whispered secrets through the ancient deodars that fringed the old Banyan House, a whisper Elara knew all too well. It was a sound that had been her constant companion since her marriage into the formidable Thakur family, a sprawling joint family, where ancient traditions and whispered resentments intertwined like the roots of the forest itself. Their home, a labyrinth of interconnected rooms and shadowy corridors, stood sentinel on the very edge of the whispering woods. Elara was an outsider, a girl from a smaller, less influential family, and not all the Thakurs had welcomed her. Her mother-in-law, a woman carved from granite and silence, barely acknowledged her existence. Her elder sister-in-law, Kavita, with eyes that held the chill of a winter morning, openly disliked her, often making barbed comments about her upbringing or lack of proper manners. The younger cousins and aunts mostly followed Kavita's lead, either ignoring Elara or treating her with thinly veiled disdain. But Elara had an anchor in the storm, her husband, Arjun. He was her rock, her confidant, her fiercest defender. While the others might turn a cold shoulder or utter cutting remarks, Arjun's hand would find hers. His eyes would convey a silent understanding, and his voice, though often gentle, held an unyielding resolve when it came to protecting her. He saw past the family politics, past the whispers and the glares, and saw only the woman he loved. One sweltering monsoon evening, as the rain lashed against the windows and the wind howled like a banshee, a strange dread settled over the house. A distant, mournful cry seemed to echo from the forest, a sound unlike any animal Elara had ever heard. The elders dismissed it as the wind, or perhaps a lone jackal, but Elara felt a prickle of unease on her skin. That night, things began. A series of unexplained occurrences plagued the house. Doors would creak open and shut on their own. Objects would vanish from their places only to reappear elsewhere. A chilling cold spot developed in the main hall. Even on the warmest nights, Kavita, usually quick to blame Elara for any mishap, grew strangely quiet, her face pale. "It's just the old house settling," Arjun would say, trying to reassure Elara, but his brow was often furrowed with concern. He would stay by her side, his presence a comforting shield against the growing dread. Then came the footsteps. Soft, dragging footsteps that echoed through the empty corridors late at night, always just out of sight. Elara would wake with a start, her heart pounding, certain she wasn't alone. One night she swore she saw a flicker of movement at the end of the long hall, a shadow that seemed to detach itself from the darkness and melt back into it. The climax arrived during the festival of Durga Puja. The entire family was gathered in the puja room, the air thick with incense and chanting. Suddenly, the oil lamp illuminating the idol of the goddess flickered wildly and then extinguished, plunging the room into near darkness. A collective gasp went through the family, and then, a blood-curdling scream ripped through the silence. It came from the kitchen, where the cook, an old woman named Shanti, had gone to fetch more offerings. Arjun, ever quick, sprinted towards the sound, Elara right behind him. They found Shanti huddled in a corner, her eyes wide with terror, pointing a trembling finger at the large ancestral portrait that hung on the kitchen wall. It was a painting of Arjun's great-grandmother, a stern-faced woman known for her strictness and her disdain for outsiders. But it wasn't the portrait itself that was terrifying, it was the eyes. They seemed to be following them, their painted gaze alive, with a cold, malevolent fury. And then, slowly, impossibly, a single drop of blood trickled from the painted corner of her mouth, staining the antique frame. A chill, far colder than any winter draft, enveloped Elara. She felt a presence, ancient and angry, settling over her. Her breath hitched. The air grew heavy, pressing down on her. "What is happening?" whispered a terrified cousin. Arjun, his face grim, instinctively pulled Elara behind him. He looked at the portrait, then back at his family, his eyes sweeping over those who had always treated Elara with contempt. As if in answer, a faint, almost imperceptible whisper snaked through the silence, a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. It was Elara's name, drawn out, mournful, and filled with a chilling possessiveness. Just then, the front door, though bolted from the inside, slammed open with a deafening bang, revealing the black churning moor of the forest beyond, the rain still lashing down. A gust of wind, smelling of damp earth and something ancient, swept through the house, extinguishing all the lamps, plunging them into complete darkness. In the ensuing chaos, with terrified screams echoing around her, Elara felt a cold, skeletal hand graze her arm. She cried out, but her voice was swallowed by the storm and the rising fear. Arjun's grip on her hand tightened, pulling her close. "Run, Elara," he hissed, his voice urgent. "To the forest. Now." The forest. The very place her heart had always recoiled from. But the terror within the house was now far greater than any fear of the unknown woods. With Arjun leading the way, they plunged into the dark, rain-soaked embrace of the forest, the spectral whispers of the Banyan House chasing them, and the chilling realization dawning on Elara that some family legacies, no matter how distant, never truly die. They only wait and watch, and sometimes they reach out.